Good evening. Welcome to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan, and we're out fishing again tonight. As you can see, I'm fishing with Jacob, my stepson, again tonight, and we've come out to the Solent in a nice deep water venue to try and get us a conger, try and get him a conger really. Every time I fish with Jacob, he tends to outfish me, so I'm not looking to do very well tonight, but I'm sure he's going to do pretty decent. I'm going to quickly get set up. There's another couple of chaps coming down tonight, Nick and Nobby. You've seen them both on the channel before. Hopefully Nobby's going to show up because he's got some bait for us. But yeah, set these rods up, get some rigs on, show some bait, and then hopefully we can pull ourselves out a couple of fish tonight. There's still quite a strong westerly, but we've had this massive storm. It only came through last night, so I've really got high hopes for tonight. It's super fishable, so we're going to give it a go. Fingers crossed we can get ourselves into a fish. No, facing up, so they're sort of blocked. Hello. So I'm just getting my rigs ready for this evening. I've made some new rigs. So basically it's just it's a normal pulley rig. I normally do mine at about 3 foot, just a bit shorter. The tide does run quite hard here. I've reduced the strength to 40 pound for my hook snoods, which I don't normally like to do. I normally try to keep them 60 minimum, but they're 40 today because I'm using my 50 pound braid with a 60 pound leader. So if my hook doesn't bend out, I should be able to snap it, which means I don't lose a whole lot. Likewise, on the other end, I am going to use rotten bottom. I'm hoping I can get this untangled. Not the easiest thing to do in the dark, and then on the bottom, like I was saying, rotten bottom. So basically I've got a bait clip, normal bait clip, so that's my Gemini imp, and then I've got an upside down bait clip attached to that, and on that I've got 30 pound. So I'm thinking 30 pound is nice and strong, that I'll still be able to pull it out if I can pull it out. But if it's in there, all the rest of my gear is heavier than this. So I've got 60 pound rig body, 50 pound main line with a 60 pound leader, but my lead is going to be attached. I'll tie that to the lead, and then basically when I cast, I'll give it a few spins just to coil it up, and then that will be sat in there when I cast. So it's obviously got the full strength of the 60 pound. But then when I launch it, with any luck, it will stay in there, hit the water, that will come off. So then it'll be attached to the 30 pound. And hopefully I won't lose as much gear. That's the plan. Gonna give it a go anyway. And hopefully we can still pull a fish or two out. I know this is maybe a little bit underpowered for here, because like I say, last time I fished the Solent, I had a really nice conger. So say really nice for me anyway, 12 pound. I know they get far bigger, but I was chuffed. So I am using 3.0, again that's what I had it on, 3.0. I've got a 3.0 octopus beak hook there. Hopefully I get it hooked really nicely like before, and it's not on that, and it won't bite me off. And then on the other side, I have got some lead lifts, but they're not on the leads, which is the ones that I want. So I've got a couple of lead lifts that I'm going to try on the other rod. So basically I'm going to fish 2 different methods to try and get my gear back, see which one is better, and hopefully it gives me some idea going into the future the best way not to lose as much gear. And there we go. So on the other side, same style pulley, but my normal standard pulley. So we've got 80 pound. I think actually this looks like that could be 60 pound, and that's 80 pound. but then I've got a lead lift on that one, so fingers crossed. Like I say, I just want to give it a little go really. I've only got a cheap little lead clip on this one. With any luck, I can get it all back. Right, and just quickly, because I'm waiting for the rest of the bait to turn up, I'm going to fish with some whole squid just to begin with, both on pulleys. Jake's got a whole squid on a pulley as well. So I'm just binding that up really, really quick, head included. And then what I'm doing with my 3.0, so you can see there, just popping that right in the end. So it's incorporating the head. So you can see my hook point just there, look. And that is it. I'm literally just pinching it there, and then the rest of it is just going to get bound on. So I don't go into it multiple times or anything like that. Literally just pinch it into the top there like that. Like I say, there are many, many ways to do this. This is just the way I do it. And again, it's from seeing other people doing it as well. I've seen people doing it different ways, but I'm sure it all works. I just find it a little bit easier doing it like this. When I come to take it off, I can just snip down the side of the line with my scissors or my knife, snip all the little bits of elastic, and it all just comes off really, really easy. So when I want to change the bait, it's not a pig. And then I'll just wrap that on. Got no neoprene on this one, so I just wrap my pennel hook a couple of times around, poke it in, pull that line tight, and then there you go. That is just sat all nice and proud. What? Proud hook at the bottom, proud hook at the top. Let's get it out. There we are, first bait is in the water. Let's move you back, because last time I didn't get my rod tips in. There, right, hopefully you can see that. The camera is super high, hopefully it won't go over in the wind. I'm going to get this other bait sorted out. It's exactly the same bait, I'm just going to whack it out, another whole squid. Hopefully we get into a fish while we wait, but fingers crossed. Like I say, we'll get into something. I really hope you enjoy this. I really enjoy coming out making these videos for everyone, so I hope you enjoy watching them. It seems like you do, so I just want to say a massive thank you again, and I hugely appreciate you stopping by and spending the time to watch these videos. Thank you. There we go, both rods are in the water. So we're fishing pretty much the entire tide coming up. We've missed maybe the first hour or so of the flood, but we're fishing the rest of the tide all the way up. So right up to high. Hopefully we can get a couple of fish to show for it. It'd be really chuffed if we do. Like I say, Jake's busting for a big conger, hence we've come here. So yeah, fingers crossed for it. Well, I think I might have a fish on my right hand rod. Lines have now crossed over, it's going against tide, so I'm going to pull into it, see what we've got. As you can see there, I'm fishing with both my Daiwas again. On the left hand side is the lighter of the two, which is the Air Surf, and on the right hand side is the heavier of the two, which is the Tournament Surf Pro. Oh, it is. So I just did exactly the same as I did last time with that bloody tip light. Thing came flying off. Half the clip is still on there, but it's split, so that it's in. But I'm gonna have to tape it up. Next time I bring the rod in, I'll tape it on. Yeah, I'm not having much luck with those ones at all. Oh, not a lot to report at the minute. Jake's just having a second cast. He's just about to reel that one in, and he's going to change over and put a fresh bait out. He's going to have squid and black lug on that one. I'm still on the first ones. I did reel that one in because for some reason it just massively swung around to the left. A little bit of weed on there, but nothing at all. I've got it back, so that's a good bonus. And that one was on the rotten bottom. Did pull into something on the way in. Again, only on the grippers, just a little bit of weed, but it pulled through, pulled it up. So far, haven't lost anything. So I'm just hoping, like I say, out of one of these two methods, I can determine which will be the best for me. So, because I don't want to lose gear. It's awful losing gear. It's a pain in the ass. It's really frustrating. I certainly don't want to lose leaders, but I just don't like losing leads or anything. It's all expensive. All these components, even if you're buying cheap components, they're still expensive. You buy cheap components because that's all you can afford. So when you lose it, it's just not a very nice feeling. So if I can try and minimise it, the better. Let's have a look. Yeah. What do we do? Dogfish. Yeah. That's it. But it's a blank saved because we've got a dogfish, the monster of the deep. It's probably all of about 8 ounces. So we'll get this little puppy straight back, and hopefully we can get something a little bit bigger. But the blank is saved, so I'm chuffed about that. Let's get it back in. Tide's definitely moving a bit now. Ah, there we go. We've got our first fish. I'm super chuffed about that. So far, 3 out of 3 this year. But yeah, that tide is really starting to move now. It's really sort of coming across left to right. When it floods in the Solent, this end of the Solent, certainly it comes in left to right. But certain places, it's really difficult to tell which way it comes and goes. But yeah, I've just cast out now. This has gone straight over the top of my other line, so just switch the rods around. Got a bait ready. Lug and black squid. That's lug and black squid. Squid and black lug is what I'm using at the moment. Until this other bait turns up, then that's all we got at the moment. But as soon as he turns up with it, fish baits out they go. Right, here we go. Hobby's just turned up with our extra bait. So now, basically I've got a conger pack. So the conger pack has got some sprats in it, it's got some joey mackerel in it, it's got a cuttlefish in it, and it's got a couple of squid in it. So, my first bait out of there, quick, this is quick, is a whole sprat and half, well, it's probably a quarter actually. They're quite big squid. So I'll just wrap that together. I'm going to get this out straight away. Oh, there we go. So we got that one. Got that sprat and squid out. Now I'm just baiting up a piece of that joey. So flesh side out. Then I'm wrapping a piece of squid up the side of that as well. And then, so basically what I've done is I've cut the joey in half, cut the tail end in half, which I'll wrap with squid, and then I've got a head and guts, so it's bait on its own. And we'll just get this on a pennel. So again, I'm showing this because I've been asked to show it. I know loads of people obviously know how to bait up, but just for the people that that don't, and again, there's many ways of doing it. This is just the way I do it. So all I've done is I've literally, you can see that, I've just pinched that hook. This is a 3/0, and then I can push it, so basically the bend of the hook is level with the bottom of my bait. And then I'll just grab hold of my end of the elastic and bind it on, and basically all I'm doing is I'm going all the way up, binding the line all the way to the end of the bait, and then whacking loads over the eye and the knot. That way it shouldn't slip in the cast or when it's in the water or anything like that. And then, like I say, normally I've got neoprene, but because I'm using cheaper rigs on the off chance that I was going to lose it, so I haven't bothered to put neoprene on it. So a couple of twists of the line, just like that, and then bring that pennel hook, whether it's an Aberdeen, a wide mouth, I'm using octopus beak hooks, a couple of twists on the line, and that will lock it in place, and then that cannot move at all. Definitely getting a bit of activity on my left hand rod then. Could just be a dogfish, but don't really mind if I'm catching fish, I'm catching fish. It always puts a smile on my face. There we go. First little dogfish on the fish baits. It's only been in the water about 10 minutes. Let's chuck it this little girl. This one. Let's chuck this one back in. Right, so I've never really used cotton. I've used it a couple of times to strips and stuff like that. I have had a go with it, but it's such a minging bait. But because we're after conger for Jake, so he's just there, he hasn't had a bite yet. So we've got one nice size cuttlefish in that pack. So I've just cut it straight down the middle so you can see all the guts and goo inside. So we're going to wrap that in, trap it in there, and then stick this out on a pulley rig. So I've got one half, Jake's got one half, and hopefully one of us will get into a nice conger. There we go, that tide's eased right off now, so I've just dropped the rod tips down a little bit. I've got my drag set so they can't go anywhere, they're not locked into my rod stand anymore. It means I'm not like that, trying to look up at them, and I can get them really, really nicely in the shot. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let's I can see them anyway, so I'm hoping they're in shot. If there's no other fish, I've had 2 dogfish, but there's been no other fish that have come out just yet. Jake's still waiting for his first bite. I've whacked that cuttlefish bait out there, so fingers crossed we can get something on that. Well, yeah, surprisingly slow. Like I say, we've had these huge storms. I mean, even just last night we were getting 80 mile an hour gusts. and then it's just dropped right off tonight. Still a little bit westerly, but now it's probably dropped down to maybe 20 miles an hour, just on the gusts, and then it's dropping right down later. Oh.
That was on that cuttle.
Ooh. Just had a massive pull down then. I pulled into it, there was nothing there. It went a couple of times, so I'm just going to leave it. I've pulled the leads, I've pulled the grippers now, so that's the trouble, and it's shot off to the right. I feel like I should just bring it in, reset the grippers. I've only just cast it and then recast it again. Yeah, not gonna lie, a little bit disappointed about that. Really nice strong pull down and then another really strong pull down. Always looks massive in your head when you see it, but when I look back on the edit it's probably just a tiny little nod like that. But yeah, pulled in, nothing there at all. And then recast, and I've got tangled up in my other line and I've been having a little bit of a pickle, but we've got two fresh baits out there again now. But actually I put that cuttle straight out. But now I've got a mackerel head and guts, one of those joeys, just cut straight in half. Head end, straight out there. Yeah, hopefully, like I say, we can get a bite. It's been quite slow. I'm still the only person to bring a fish. Oh, actually, did one of you get a dogfish a minute ago? Yeah, so somebody else had a dogfish as well now. But it's quite slow, surprisingly so. So, struggling to find a bite here at the minute. So I'm going to change it up just a smidge. I'm still fishing with pulleys. I'm not going to change that. But I am going to put a slightly smaller bait out. So I've got one of those sprats, the smaller sprat. And I've put, you can see there, it's quite a small bait. And then I've just wrapped a piece of squid up the side of that. So it's small, hopefully get something. I'd say there's 5 of us down here, and between us we've only had 3 dogfish. But we've got another 2 hours before high tide, which is at 11 o'clock, so we're going to fish all the way to the top. Hopefully we can pull something else out. Yeah, there we go. So that's it on the hooks. You can see really small bait, so hopefully this one might entice something. Very slow. I just pulled that mackerel head in and there was nothing on there at all. A tiny little bit of skull. So there's obviously some crabs out there. But yeah, it'd be nice to get into a fish. Well, I've never seen anything like that before. And so Nick was reeling in. He had a bite and he was reeling in, and it looked like he was just reeling in a fish. And then suddenly it just went really solid, and obviously then there was a really decent bite, and we was just sort of watching, and it's oh yeah, got something decent, and pulled it up, and as it came to the surface I was like, there's something in its mouth, and you could see where it had taken the other conger. So obviously his first bite was the smaller conger, a little strap, and then that one, 10#6 it was, just walloped it, and you could see the marks. It had taken the whole conger, which must have been, you know, best part of £2 probably, all the way down. And it had marks all the way up to its head, so it had the whole thing in its mouth. They just held on to it all the way in, and it got down into the just dragged it up onto the beach and then it just let go. So I managed to get it up on the side for him, but yeah. Crazy, never ever seen anything like that before. Funny. So he's had 2 fish in one cast. But yeah, hopefully there'll be some others on the show. But yeah, it's quite hard fishing at the moment. Trying to fish hard, keep changing the baits and all that, keep putting fresh baits out there, but yeah, it's just not happening at the moment. But we'll keep our fingers crossed that any second we might get that fish. God, well, I'm not going to lie, I have struggled with the snags here again today, but I've only lost 1 set of gear, and you'll see then, I keep getting on that ledge, I'm reeling for ages and it just locks up, but I've just slowly pull back, walk back, feel the tension get really tight, and then stand there and hold it, and you'll feel it start to loosen, and it's obviously pulling through, and I think it's like a weed bed or something that's coming in through, because when it comes up, after I get it out of that snag, it comes up probably 50 yards out of the water out there with those lead lifts, so wherever it is, it's deep down. But yeah, I'm getting them back, which is a win, so I'm chuffed about that. But yeah, fishing's a bit rubbish, I'm afraid. 2 fresh baits out there again, so fingers crossed we can maybe pull something out. That is typical. So I've just had a bite, first bite for ages, and I've got it snagged. Ugh. There we go. So managed to get it out of that snag. You see there, just constant pressure, and then it pulled through, and we got another fish. Not a bad sized dogfish this time, but still only a doggy, so 3 dogfish. But it's not the big conger that we're after. But got another fresh bait there ready, so I'm going to chuck that out now. Hopefully we can get another fish. Like I say, we've got about an hour to the top of the tide. Well, I'm going to have to check that left-hand rod. I mean, it just sprung up and then hooped back down. But I think it might be weed, I don't know. But let's have a look anyway, see if we've got something, shall we? Well, there we are, we're done for the night. I'm going to bring this one in. You can just see there, that's the last rod I've got out. But we're going to pack it away. Tide is almost on the top of the tide. It's starting to turn a little bit and the weed's starting to come through. So quit while we're ahead. I've had 3 fish. Unfortunately, Jake didn't catch tonight, which I'm really gutted about, to be honest. It's nice to see that conger and crazy to see it on another conger. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, I haven't been fishing for very long, but I've just never seen anything like that. So, bring this one in, pack it up. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, not a whole bunch of fish, unfortunately, this time round, but fingers crossed, next time we go out, we're getting some decent fish. So until the next time, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.